on the Giants, and you were jacked up about Tyrone Tracy. I think we were kind of in agreement. Like this was a team that wasn't in position to just throw wads of cash at Saquon Barkley, and
No, they weren't.
everybody's laughing now. He's a Super Bowl champ. He was unbelievable. He would have set the rushing record if he played that last game, obviously. And and
Right.
and y- you've said many nice things about Saquon, even though there was that whole you know
A
Twitter
radio
feud.
bit. That
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
for. It was just a radio bit. I
It
mean,
was
this is what
right.
we do
Yeah.
for a living.
And you were yeah, he kind of took that out of context. But anyways, you've been very nice when it comes to Saquon. But in retrospect, what kind of sense do you make of the Giants' plan at running back now that the dust has kind of settled? They kind of used that money elsewhere, and now you've got
Yeah.
the room that you just kind of detailed. Now, was it the right move?
Well, I mean, in retrospect, it was the right move, I think, for Saquon for sure, because you can't have a elite run game with an elite running back, obviously, unless your offensive line is put together and it's got continuity, consistency, and I think most importantly, competency. I think it's the one thing that the Giants have lacked consistently over the last couple of years is those three things with the offensive line. And Saquon would not have thrived here. I know I kept hearing this when he was a younger player. Saquon is great. Saquon is great. He might have the potential to be great, but in actuality, he was never really great here, and it wasn't all his fault. Right? He had a couple of really good seasons, but if you want to see Saquon and greatness in the same sentence, watch what he did with the Philadelphia Eagles last season. And I don't mean just go look at his statistics because that's easy to do, but you go watch some of those games, break down some of that film and the different schemes that Kellen Moore was using and the advantages that he was creating because of the athlete he had at running back, but also the four Pro Bowls slash, all pro because Mailata was an all pro on that offensive line. And Mekhi Becton was the only one that wasn't honored. And he had a hell of a season at right guard last year. That's how you get greatness from your run game. And it wasn't a surprise that they rushed for 2,000 yards and ultimately
Yeah.
carried with their run game. That includes their quarterback, obviously, Jalen Hurts, to a Super Bowl, right? I mean, they dominated the uh, dynastic team in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. And so much of it was because of the trenches, both offensively and defensively. And I think to me, that's a lesson for this league because so much in this league, we talk about you got to have a quarterback. You got to have the guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer. You got to have the Pat Mahomes of the world, the Josh Allens of the world. Well, I don't think that Jalen Hurts is a yet Hall of Fame quarterback. Maybe he's going to redefine what a Hall of Fame quarterback is. Because
Mhm.
right now, what we see or what we think we want in a Hall of Fame quarterback is a guy who throws for 4,500 yards, who, completes 70% of his passes, is just consummate playmaker and gets his team out of trouble and does it all by himself, seemingly. But I think what the Eagles have created is this like team juggernaut which is just, I don't know, as much as I
Yeah.
hate to admit it, it's entertaining to watch. It
It,
seems like they're a nemesis, but I'm like, damn it, they did it right.
I mean, it's crazy. You could talk to any general manager around the NFL, and they say, you know what, we couldn't do this at wide receiver, or we couldn't make that move for a pass rusher because we're paying the quarterback, or we're
Yes,
loaded up at this. And
yes,
then here's the Eagles. They just pay AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, Lane
yeah,
Johnson. Like the second that one of their studs is up for a contract and they believe in that stud, they
right,
pay him. But because the
right.
market's only going to keep soaring, they keep
Well,
drafting well. It's like such a well-oiled machine out there.
I give Howie Roseman so much credit, and I've had a couple of conversations with him over the years. It's just like he sees it. He sees the big picture, and he's not worried about the fallacy of the salary cap. And what I mean by that, it's fungible, right? You can play with the cap. Like you can, if you want to sign somebody, you're going to sign somebody. If you want to let a guy go because he's a cap casualty, it's really because you didn't want him, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, it's an excuse. It's an excuse for the agent. It's an excuse for the player. Maybe it's an excuse for the fan base. But if you want to create space to sign a great player, you can do it. And the Eagles are an example of it. Now, they're kicking a lot of that money down the line with these void years, and eventually it's all gonna come to roost. But if you think about where they've been in the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years, right? Going back to their first Super Bowl. So they've won two Super Bowls right? They've been to two and two additionals, two other ones. So three Super Bowls they've been to. They've won two of them, and in the one that they lost, Jalen Hurts was probably the MVP on a losing team,
Yeah.
and so they've done something right, and it's been almost a decade, and so. Say it's like manipulating whatever, it's the right way to create a winning franchise because all you got to do is win one. When you